Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Shep Trades here. Going to review what I'm looking at to start the week next week and just using some trend following strategies. I'm going to show you some COT setups as well that are actually on my radar now to take action on. And so let's start with the trend following trades. I'm going to start with soybean oil. Soybean oil last week was very good to me. You can see here my executions. I got long here on Monday and peeled off 2/3 of the position. Remaining contract remains with a trailing stop here. To be honest, I will be trailing it up at the open on Sunday night. So nice trade there. But what is happening now is, well, we're in an uptrend. So trend of the 50-day and the 200 is up, and we are starting to get oversold on the percent R in this little pullback. I've also marked off here this previous area of resistance. Possible that that'll turn into support here. So what I want to see is I want to see the bulls reclaim this anchored VWAP, or if we create some new daily oversold bars here, if we take out the high of a new daily oversold bar. So let's say Monday goes like this. If I can draw here. Let's say Monday goes like that, gets more oversold, trades into that area, and then price comes up and trades up through it. That'd be up through the high of that oversold bar. I would get long on that as well. So silver, I'm long right now. I just show you this trade. It doesn't look great, to be honest. It looks like we're going to put in a lower high here to start on Sunday night / Monday's trading. If we take out Friday's low, that will confirm a shorter term lower high, so that's not great for my trade. It looks like it could possibly get stopped out. The reason I got into this trade was we traded into the high of the oversold bar. So you see here we're in an uptrend. 50 period and 200 period are sloping up, same with the 20 period, and then we traded down into this previous area of resistance, which is now potential active support, and I anchored the VWAP to this high. We didn't get any follow through above it, so my counts restart when the price trades into the anchored VWAP. So we didn't get any proper follow through above it yet. But when we traded into that high, I was sleeping. When I woke up, price had actually come down to give me a better entry. So that's where I got long 3 contracts of this micro silver. So my first target is this previous high here, and then the extension of this short-term swing here, it takes us up to 41.455. So this setup here is just trend following continuation on the indices. So the Dow Jones Index YM contract is starting to get oversold. We pulled back here on Friday, closed, and starting to get oversold here. So I want to see the bulls reclaim this VWAP, this black line. I anchored a VWAP. So I'm anchoring VWAPs to the high. In the case of looking for longs, I anchor it to the high that caused the oversold condition. So this is the high that led to this oversold sell-off. So I want to see the bulls reclaim that in order to go long the Dow Jones indice. Heating oil. So heating oil went up, but then it had this huge sell-off. So we're starting to get oversold again. So I want to see bulls reclaim that anchored VWAP. We got platinum and palladium, same sort of thing. We are in an uptrend, clearly higher highs and higher lows. We're starting to pull back, and I traded this last week. I got long here at 1443.4, and I peeled I could only trade one contract based on the size of my account, and I got outright at 1487.7. Decent little trade. I'm looking to do the exact same thing again, so basically want to see the bulls reclaim that VWAP. The palladium, same thing, higher highs and higher lows, strong uptrend. We're pulling back. I just want to see the bulls reclaim that VWAP. So that's the long side of the market. That's to start the week. Those are the trades I'm looking for. This list will change every day because as new daily bars print, we'll get new information and start to get new opportunities. But this is what I'm looking for to start the week next week. In the short side of the market, I'm looking to short quite a few grains actually. So we have corn. So corn has had quite a nice rally here for a few days. We've rallied up. We're getting extremely overbought in a downtrend. So down sloping 250 and 20-day moving average. We're coming up into this kind of the 618 fib retracement level of this swing. So what I want to see is the bears either take us down to Friday's low and or reclaim this anchored VWAP with some follow through, and that to me will be a nice trade to trade down to 407 and then the extension below that would be my second target. But bear in mind, corn and soybean meal are both set up for longs on the COT, but the COT setup I don't pay attention to until we've got a 20-day trend change. So these are still valid shorts for me. So same thing for soybean meal, series of lower lows and lower highs. We're in a clear downtrend from the structure perspective. The moving averages tell us we're in a downtrend. We are starting to get extremely overbought, so I want to see the bears reclaim that anchored VWAP from the low that led to this overbought condition. And Kansas City wheat. Kansas City wheat is, in a downtrend, albeit it's kind of choppy. We're right at the lows. I'm not as excited about shorting this because we're right at a pretty significant low. So I may or may not take that, but it's on my list just because we are overbought in a dominant bearish trend. And then we have the 10-year T-note futures. So we're in a downtrend. You can't see it on this rolling or this front month contract, but if we were to see the rolling, you'd see we have a downsloping 200 period moving average in alignment with the downsloping 50. So we're getting overbought in this downtrend. I want to take sell signals, so I want the bears to show me that they've shown up. I don't want to just sell because we're getting overbought. I need some follow through below some key levels in order to get short. And we also have cocoa. So cocoa's this one is interesting just because it is a strong COT setup for longs as well. But again, we're in a downtrend. We're making lower lows and lower highs. The 200 period trend is still up, but it looks like eventually it'll start to roll over. So I think this is a decent opportunity to short if we get up here and bears can reclaim this VWAP from the low that led to this overbought condition. So those are the trend trades I'm looking at to start the week in the futures markets. Right now over the weekend, these are the cryptos that I'm paying attention to. Crypto is very strong. So Bitcoin, I want to see the bulls. I got stopped out on this already. I got long up here and then stopped out right there on that time. So I'm looking for the bulls to step up, reclaim, and then looking for all-time highs and then ultimately an extension up to the extension of the swing around 130K. XRP, same thing. Just see this as a little pullback. I want to see the bulls reclaim that VWAP. Same thing here with Pepe, exact same thing with TRX, SUI or whatever this is, XLM, and Aave. Those are the ones that I like the most. I've picked this list from the top. This is the list as of today. Like if Ethereum started to pull back today and started to get oversold, I would be adding that to the list as well. But as of the time of this recording, that's what I'm looking at. So those are the trend following trades, you guys. And then as far as COT setups, there's a lot of COT setups, but here's the key with COT setups. COT analysis, the way that I do it, which is based on how Larry Williams teaches, it helps us find markets that are at potential turning points. But the key word is potential, because these setups can take a very long time to play out, and you can get in trouble trying to pick a top or a bottom if you try to take sell signals in an otherwise very bullish market. You need to be more selective as to what constitutes a trend change. So for me, the trend change is the 20 period moving average trend change. So I'll show you what that is. So the only market with a COT setup that I'm looking to work on the long side right now is sugar. So we had a bullish trend change on sugar this week on Friday. So the trend change here is I needed to see two full range bars above the 20-day moving average, which is this thin blue line, two full range bars, and then follow through above the high of that bar. So that's what happened right there. On Friday, we traded through the high of the highest high of those two bars, none of which are inside bars. So that tells me this trend is definitely starting to shift. So I would expect that the extreme long positionings the large specs are in, they're going to start to cover those shorts, and we're going to see a pretty decent rally in sugar here coming up. Who knows for how long, but what this means is I'm just now I view the trend on this market as up, and I want to take oversold pullbacks as buy opportunities. The exact same way I'm looking to work the trend trades that I just showed you with the 50 and the 200-day trend. The only time I will trade in the direction of the 20-day moving average against the direction of the 50 and the 200 is if I've got a COT setup, which we have right here right now with sugar. So what it would look like is it'd be something like price pulls back, starts to get oversold. I'll pull my VWAP from the high that led to that oversold condition, and then wait to get long once the bulls step back up, and then anticipate this is going to keep rallying, making higher highs and higher lows. On the short side of the market, currencies, I think now we're very close to getting a bullish trend change in the US dollar, which would mean more bearish price action for the currencies. The yen has been bearish already for quite some time, but basically the yen is in a clear bearish trend. I want to sell overbought pullbacks. The exact same thing with the British pound. We see here on the British pound, we've got that follow through below the blue line, the 20 period moving average. So we're in a bearish 20 period moving average trend. We see that the 50 period is starting to flatten out. It's going to start rolling over. I think that overbought pullbacks are the easiest opportunities to make money over the next few weeks based on COT is the currencies. We also have the CAD is in a full-on bearish trend now. You see below the 20 period moving average, and the 50 period is starting to roll over. So the CAD looks really good for shorts. The New Zealand dollar, the same thing. We're bearish trend. Actually have a down sloping 50 period moving average and a 200 on this front month contract. So everything is in alignment for sells on the Kiwi. I really like the Kiwi. And then the 30-year treasuries, the treasury bond futures, were in a downtrend. This was a COT setup for sells for me a few weeks ago, based on the fact that the small speculators were extremely long. The treasuries are tough to read COT data if you're trying to use it as most people do, which is looking at the commercials and the large specs. I find the treasury markets, it works better to see what the small specs are doing and fade them at extremes. So basically we're starting to get overbought here. Actually, this to start the week next week, this is one that's on my radar for shorts, is the US treasury bond futures here. Very nice. And then soybeans is the only other market that's a COT setup market that's actually has price has the trend in alignment with the COT setup, and that's the downsloping 200, downsloping 20. The 50 is kind of choppy here, but what we got here is we are overbought, very overbought, in a COT sell setup market that's actually confirmed for me to work. So I think soybeans is a great market to be looking to short next week. And targets would be this old low, and then also then you would have if I can get my target shooter here, that'd be taking us down to brand new lows beyond this, at least down to these lows. I think is where soybean oil is heading. Soybean futures. So that's it, you guys. If you found this message and this video useful, you can make sure you like and subscribe and comment and share, and appreciate your support. And until next time, guys, have a great weekend and a great week ahead. Bye-bye.